Nathan, NathanIvey.com. Mr. Ivey, know the show must go on. As far as Cincinnati, man, I put on. Tunes made another flame beat for me to cook on. Raised arms, close this, yeah, too strong. Team NI, chop it up at the chop shop. Top notch with the king flow, the hot shot. Cop squats in, listen to the real. Jumping like hopscotch, nobody harder than, oh, no, think not. Not only citywide, but nationwide. Superlatives, keep it locked like them Haitian guys. Put the truth in the airwaves, we talk about it. Brand new like the templates, let's be about it. Who got the info by the AM? Jono be the rapper, got them jamming when they play him. Staying in my lane, they ain't gotta okay him. Who the host with the scoop? Yeah, they gon' say him. Ivey, so superlative like a bag of drippos. Show you where the Brits at, Cincinnati Reds at. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at. It's the 513, yeah, you know the flow. What's the word, Nate? Let them know the show. One time where my people at. Team NI where my people at.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. Nate Ivey with you in the air chair. Good morning. What a wonderful Wednesday it is. Beautiful day to be with you. Hey, good morning, Sharp. Good morning, Ray. My folks on Spreaker and on TuneIn, good morning to you. Lots to talk about. Do you know what the term badge bending means? You know what that term means? I'm going to hit you to a game in just about 5 minutes. So I want to teach you a little something here. There's a very interesting case involving police officers. And there's allegations that these officers were doing something called badge bending. You should know what this term means. You never know. Good morning to you. Also, it's being reported that fresh from her Super Bowl performance, one of the performers now is, I don't know if you want to say complaining, but there's a story out about Mary J. Blige, one of my favorite topics to talk about. And the fact that because that she is now divorced and she's paying her ex alimony, that she has to go back on tour just to pay that check, pay that bill. Says she went on tour to pay alimony to her ex, Kendu Isaacs. And this is somewhat of like, I don't know, an inside story on some sense, because we've been talking about this for some time. I've given you my theories about this scenario. But I do have a couple of thoughts I want to share with you. 513-873-7134. Apparently, she's got a brand new single called Rent Money, and it's inspired by her own experience with divorce. Now, all these years, men have been paying alimony to women they're no longer with. When it happens to a woman, they got to write books and songs, plays, skywriting. I mean, gosh, we'll talk about it. 513-873-7134. And all these conversations about Biden, but there's really only one question that really matters as it relates to the Democrat Party at this particular time. All these other questions and back and forth, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is, will black voters turn out for the midterm election this year? That's the only question that really matters. All the other gooblet got, it makes no difference. That's the only question that matters right there. And the Republicans are stalling a Biden nominee for the Fed. That's right, because the United States does not own, nor do we print our own money. It's the Federal Reserve, which is not federal at all. It just has the name federal. It is not in any way under the control of the federal government. It does their own thing. You should read a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. It'll talk all about the formation of the Federal Reserve and what they do and what they really do. You know what I'm saying? We in debt to some other entity. But anyway, Biden wants to appoint a black woman to the Fed. And what are the Republicans doing? They're doing what they do best. I'll tell you all about it. 513-873-7134. Here in Cincinnati, who day? Keep that same energy, Cincinnatians. Whether we won or lost in the Super Bowl, we are all winners. We are all winners. You are a winner, and you are a winner, and you are a winner, and we're all winners. Give a damn. You know what I'm saying? What makes Cincinnati hot is not the Bengals, it's the people. Although Bengals did make us hot for a little bit there. It's amazing how you can have like all of that sunshine, all of that intense focus, and as soon as you lose, it's all over with. That is America for you. When you winning and you shining and you on top, oh my God. We getting all the national press. People talking about Cincinnati as soon as they lose. I told you, they won't be back. It's too hard. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Joe Burrow spectacular, but what about the Ravens? It's just amazing how the sports world just shifted its focus like that quick. Like, damn, y'all. Damn. But again, a lot of fun. It's going to be a big rally, I believe, today. I think it's going to be on the square today. I won't be there. But, you know, I'm glad CPS took that day off to celebrate the Bengals' appearance, because we needed a day to pull ourselves back together, right? It's like the energy was sucked out of the room throughout the whole city. You know what I'm saying? The weeks before the Super Bowl, everywhere you went, all you see is teeth. Everybody's happy. There's Bengal jerseys. Everybody is happy. I think I said that. As soon as they lose, the energy changed tremendously. I know I'm not the only person, but F all of that. You know what I'm saying? Stick your chest out, Cincinnatians. We got a lot to offer, man. I know you can get jaded, but I'm here to tell you we got a lot to offer. It's at Washington Park. Yeah, at Washington Park. Thank you. Yeah, that's great. We should do that. Celebrate them. Come on. All those NFL teams, for them to come to the Super Bowl and only 3 points away. 3 points away. Gosh darn, I'm going to come off a little bit lame because I'm trying not to curse. So I'm going to say things like gosh darn and golly gee whiz and all these other lame ass terms because I'm trying to do better. And gosh darn it, 3 points? Darn it. They couldn't give Money McPherson at least one shot. He can make a 70-yarder. I'm not going to go there. 513-873-7134. That's right. It's at Washington Park, right? Let's get into this. What is badge bending? Have you heard this term before? Badge bending. I got to put my people up on game and make sure you know what's going on with the latest. All right. Badge bending. Anybody know what that means? There's an allegation of badge bending against the Vallejo Police Department. Apparently, several officers have been recently cleared for an officer-involved shooting. It's 3 years ago, 20-year-old was killed by police officers after they were doing a wellness check. Now, I haven't looked this up, but I think a wellness check is when, like, let's say somebody calls the police non-emergency number and they say, look, I haven't heard from my peoples. My people's got problems. Can you go knock on the door and check on them? Wellness check, right? You just want to check to make sure you're safe. How do you go from doing a wellness check on an individual to you end up killing this individual basically in their sleep? How does that happen? We need to rethink all police interactions. It's the no-knock warrants. Absolutely get rid of those. It's the wellness checks. It's anytime police show up on the scene. It is what it is. Some police departments are more advanced than others. So the family of Willie McCoy, they are marking this 3-year anniversary of their slain loved one, 20 years old, slain at the hands of police. Essentially, police show up on the scene. They do a wellness check. They get access to the house. They come inside the house. He's sleeping. They startle him with guns drawn. Police allege that he had a weapon in his lap. And so basically, from what I read, he was shot over 50 times in like 5 seconds. Multiple officers just open up on him because they scared to death because you go into somebody else's home. This is America, isn't it? You go into somebody else's home, they sleep with a weapon on their lap. So what? They're at home. Gosh darn it. I mean, where are we? No charges for any of the officers. They were all exonerated. And then something very interesting happened. This happened back on February 9th of 2019. And very, very sad. Very, very sad. And apparently, let me back up here. So I think I misspoke here. He not at home. He was in his car. I want to make sure I don't. I'm getting stories mixed up a little bit here. But he was in his car at a drive-through with Taco Bell, and police say he had a gun in his lap, and they ordered him to put his hands and follow orders, but he didn't do that according to police, and he caught 55 bullets within 3 seconds. Think about that. 55 bullets in 3 seconds. Damn. What are you shooting at? What are you? Is this a man or is this a damn, what's that movie that just came out? A damn deviant. What are these? This is a human being. 50 rounds in 3 seconds? Oh, man. Well, there was one officer who was fired, but he didn't lose his job for the killing of Mr. Willie McCoy. He lost his job because he violated police policy, and during the shooting, he put another officer's life in jeopardy, and that's why he lost his job. All the other officers, no charges. Then in 2019, a former police captain named John Whitney, he blew the whistle. He came out and said that there was something called badge bending going on. Badge bending. And apparently badge bending there's a literal part of this where officers will bend their badges to commemorate when they were in an officer involved shooting, and that each bend signified a shooting. So apparently this was like, it was hunting on the police force. And whenever you get into an officer involved shooting or you kill somebody, then you would bend a part of your badge, which I guess other officers could see that and realize like, oh, he's a real one out here, right? Look at all of those look at all of the bends in his badge, like literally. What the hell? You heard this before? Badge bending? Apparently it's a real thing. So this police captain came out with this, right? After or when the investigation was going on, saying that he got wind of or got some inside track that the officers, it was like this whole big thing. The officers was basically going hunting, taking scalps, basically. Let's call it what it is, taking scalps. Badge bending. You ever heard of it before? That crazy? Good morning to you. 513-873-7134. Jenny writes, what city did this take place in? Vallejo. In Vallejo. That's where it took place. The Vallejo Police Department. That's some crazy ish, man. The fuck? You call it the good. You're supposed to call the police. They're supposed to be the good guys. They out here playing, torture games. You know what I'm saying? Like who can get into the most scrapes and survive type stuff. But I don't know. I think what I would say is that I think that's the mentality of the individuals, and then when they get with similarly motivated other individuals, it just becomes like they just feed off one another. That's what I think. It must have been the culture, if in fact it's true. Again, these are all allegations. We don't know. But how do you go from a wellness check to shooting somebody more than 50 times in 3 seconds? And this is the person that you're supposed to be doing a wellness check on. What? Whatever happened to, let's back up and talk it out. You know what I'm saying? Let's back. Oh, he's got a weapon. Must be a criminal. We got to kill him. Maybe he's afraid. Man, I mean, I would imagine that people who have guns or carry guns for the same reason that police carry guns, for protection. It's a crazy world out here. Jericho writes, I thought we were going for a setup change. Yeah, I'll change it later. I'll change it probably tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to. Vallejo is in California, absolutely. Sister Iris in the house. I read about she's going to be working with the city now. Sister Iris Rowley will be working with the city. And let me double check here because here it is. Longtime advocate Iris Rowley to serve as consultant on a collaborative agreement work. And as it relates to, let me see, Cincinnati is hiring community leader Iris Rowley as a sustainability coordinator to consult on issues related to the collaborative agreement. And as I understand that position and that job, I can't think of anybody better to be the consultant. I can't think of anybody better. So congrats to Sister Iris. I'm loving what I'm hearing. I'm loving what I'm seeing from the AvTab Purevol administration already. Let's see. Let's see. But congratulations to Iris. Roots Tafari writes, I saw that. Congratulations, Sister Rowley. Absolutely. She'll do a spectacular job. We already know that. We already know that. Matter of fact, I got to call you back, actually. See, congratulations. Right, for sure. Oh, for most definitely. Most definitely. And I'm not saying I know all the ins and out of exactly what that means to be the sustainability coordinator. But as it relates to collaborative agreement, who better in the city of Cincinnati to be in that position than her? I can't think of anybody. And looks like she's going to be consulting with them. Okay. So that's going to be dope. That'll be very interesting. We'll keep our eyes on that. Tiffany writes, good morning. Good morning. Chris writes, why are guns drawn on a wellness check? Because they probably, as they came upon him, if I remember correctly, he's sleeping. They see the weapon in his lap. And so they instantly go from 0 to 1,000,000. Right. And my thing, it's like police officers expect for us to talk to them, even though they carry guns, and not feel all this anxiety and be afraid. But when they meet somebody else has got a weapon, they're always have high anxiety and they're afraid. Huh? How does that work? I don't get it. Roy writes, good morning, everyone. Nat writes, well-deserved. Good job, Mayor Purevol. Yeah, I think it's very interesting. Very interesting. We'll see. Like I said, I still think very optimistically about what the city is doing and the direction that they're moving in and the possibility of what they can do. So we shall say. Let me move on. I wanted to put that out there. So now I've taught you something. Now you know what badge bending is. Literally, officers bending the edge of I guess the badges have SARS on them. So you would take and just bend. I don't know if you're bending it forward or bending it back. And then other officers is hip to the torture game. They'll look at you and like, oh, damn, look, you got 3. I've only got 1. I'm trying to get my first. Yo, damn. Can't wait to get into my first officer involved shooting. And there are people inside the Black community that believe that, I've heard this term race shoulder, right? Like there are people that believe that the police have been infiltrated, which they have been. The FBI told us this over 10 years ago, that the police were infiltrated by white supremacist groups, law enforcement, military. There was a report that came out again over 10 years ago. So this ain't no made up fiction. But this is something that concerns a lot of people, and it just can't be good. It's just not going to be good, because what's going to happen is, in the minds of some people, they're going to paint all law enforcement officers with this same color, basically, right? And why not, right? They all wearing uniforms, which I think is unfair, but that's how human beings' brains works. So badge bending. So I'll hip you to the game on that. Now you know. Good morning to you. More congratulations coming in to Sister Iris. Good morning to you. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate Natropoulos. Ray writes, good risings all. John, hashtag glorious, writes, good glorious morning. Ray writes, she has a new album. If she can pay him in a lump sum, she should do it. I'm an equal op payer. If equitable, either party should pay up. Talking about Mary J. Blige. I thought she did a good job. I thought they all did a good job. It was cool. I wasn't like blown away. I'll be honest with you. I mean, maybe I'm just jaded. I guess I'd have to be there. If I was at the Super Bowl, then maybe I'd be blown away by the Super Bowl halftime show. But that's a made for TV production. So when you're there, you get a chance to see them moving the props in and out, and the talents coming in and out. And 50 Cent was hanging upside down. And some people from a certain generation were wondering why. My daughter was like, why was he hanging upside down? I had to tell her, like in his first video, that was a scene from the first video we ever saw. He was hanging upside down. He looked a little different now. It looked a little different. Back then he was young and let's say been in more shape. So something happened. So he's upside down, and then the camera flips to the dancers, and now he's right side up. But in real time, they got a chance to see all of the magic, so to speak. So I'm not sure if it would be the same, but it was cool. You know, it's Super Bowl halftime. I don't know. I just feel like maybe I'm jaded. I'm like, all this shit is overrated. I just want my team to win. You know what I'm saying? All this other stuff, cool, great. Commercials, yeah, okay, whatever. I just want my team to win, right? But I thought that Mary J did a good job. And you're right. She does have a new album out. She got a brand new single called Rent Money. I haven't heard it yet, but apparently it's inspired by her own experience with divorce. And divorce can be, oh my God, it can be liberating, I can imagine. If you're in a bad relationship, getting divorced can just be liberating, right? Or let's say you're really emotional about it, like you're on the fence about it, and maybe you didn't really want the divorce, or it's just a really bad breakup. Oh, I can imagine it just being very difficult. Very difficult. But I don't really have any sympathy for Mary J. Blige. So what? You got to go back out there and all you're doing is performing. It's not like you actually working real hard or nothing like that. You ain't busting no concrete. You ain't out here doing no hard back-breaking work. You're singing songs that you memorized 20 years ago. And during your Mary J. Blige dance, I wanted Mary J. She was up on top of that. I guess it's supposed to be like a scene from the hood, a scene from the block or something like that. So she was up on top of the stage, or it was a stage functionally, but it was made up to look like she was on top of a building, right? And I just wanted her to bring that lifesaver up there, and then that she's dancing, she can recreate that meme. That's one of Mary J's greatest moments, is that meme with the lightsaber when she was, you know what I'm talking about. You know, that I wanted her to do that. She didn't do that. I'm like, it's all good. But as a part of Mary J. Blige, one verse from her song Rent Money, which appears to be about her ex, goes like this. Look, now my rent money due. I spent everything effing with you. Oh, they say you win some, you lose, you win some. They say you win some, you they say you win some, you lose. All I got is rent money due. Effing with you. And apparently she sat down with Angie Martinez, and she said that when she first got divorced, I had to give up all of this alimony money, and I didn't have no more money to give because she had spent it all. So she said she had to go back on tour to recoup her money from alimony. And Roots Tafari writes, bro, you and the lightsaber. Yeah, it would have been dope. It would have been dope. 30 bands a month. I mean, you know, it's cheaper to keep him, it appears. She should have kept him. I don't know. Get a prenup. It's hard for me to have sympathy for Mary J because men be getting raked over the coals all the time. They be getting stroked out here. So, you know, the pendulum swings to the other side. Okay, do what you got to do. Big deal. You went back out on tour. It's not like you like working a second job. It's not like you're working fast food. You're just doing songs and tour dates. You know, you're performing. You like to perform. So I don't want to hear no belly aching. Where you at, Tracy? The King writes, Mary J got bars. How was she broke? I don't know. Living a extravagant lifestyle, but there it is. Rent money. And, you know, women love this kind of shit. When, you know, basically, Mary J does blame the man music. That's what Mary J is really good at. Mary J is really good at blame the man music. You know, she creates this music about how some nigga did her wrong, and now she got to recover. And you know, for modern day women, because things have changed. You got a lot of women out there with big time degrees and big time jobs and six-figure salaries plus making their own money. I'm a modern woman. So, you know, the idea of paying some dude, your ex, you ain't even with him no more, it's like absolutely the worst thing for these modern women. So I haven't heard the song. It's got Dave East in it. Dave East is dope. I'm sure it's going to be a dope song, but I can see that it's going to resonate. You know what I'm saying? People was like, well, why did Mary J do a slow song? Because that's one of her greatest hits. You know, she does that feel sorry for me music. And some women love to feel sorry for themselves, especially as it relates to a relationship. They just love it. And that's the connection between them and Mary J. I feel your pain, Mary J. F him too. No good, broke, you know, you fill in the blank. They love that. They love that. And so for just, I don't know, a minute during the Super Bowl, Mary J made all the women feel something like, wait a minute. I didn't expect to feel anything. I'm sick of my man too. I hate his ass too, Mary J. No good motherfucker. Yeah. Kenneth writes, all her men abused her physically and mentally. Make better choices, Mary. Absolutely. Tracy writes, I'm not paying no ex, period. He contributed nothing to her come up. Hashtag leech. Well, apparently you are wrong because a court of law said he contributed mightily and he's getting $30,000 a month. Let me look at this article here. He's getting $30,000 a month. So apparently he did something. See, that's that haterism. That's that straight up haterism. He ain't do nothing. So he was paying her, she was paying him $30,000 per month, which is what, $333,000 a year. Can you say cha-ching? I ain't got no problems with it. If she would have treated that black man better, he wouldn't have left her. Simple as that. Nakia writes, I will be mad as heck. Yeah, what working woman wouldn't be mad as heck? You making all your money, you working hard, and then you got to pay this Negro alimony? Huh? And I suspect that the new album will do well because she's good at that. Like everybody does their thing, right? Everybody has their thing. And the one thing that Mary J is good at is talking about her pain and talking about dealing with some Negro and how he did you wrong and how you had to overcome and how you had to get over this and how you got to move on and belly aching because you got to pay him money. Well, join the freaking club. Jack writes, he was her manager, right? She was getting a discount on services. Absolutely. Janice writes, I'm just happy she didn't have any children with him and have to pay him alimony. See, it's the have to pay him alimony. It's amazing. I got to pull your card. All these modern day women, you done broke the glass ceiling. A woman can do anything a man can do. A woman can do anything a man can do. Who runs the world? Girls, right? Until it comes for you to pay out the pocket like a man does, like men been doing. So I don't really have no sympathy for. I mean, it makes for a great story. Depending on the rhythm and the beats and all that kind of stuff, I mean, she might have a hit on her. She's on her way though, because again, that's the kind of thing that women will turn into an anthem. F these Negroes, right? It's just making the gender wars even worse. Mary J. Blige may not be good for the black family. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm for equal rights, thus equal alimony payments. Exactly. This is a smart man right here. Jesse writes, get that money, can do right. Can do. Roots writes, when men have to pay alimony is all cool, but when they receive, it's a problem. Can we say equality? Right. Oh boy. Now you touched the nerve here. Like I said, just set up straight up double standard. When it's so women, they, oh my God, they have shattered the glass ceiling. They want to be treated the same way. They want to make equal pay and should. My rights, me too, me too, me too, my rights, me too, my rights, me too. But when it flips the paradigm, Mary J and her feelings, get the check cut. That's all we care about. We don't want to hear about how you had to do it. Just pay it. I had to do this and I had to, why I got to pay this man? What you mean, why? For the same reason that men have had to pay alimony. You should have got a prenup. You didn't get a prenup. This is what happened. Simple as that. Irish writes, Kendu was a buster and still a buster. See how we disrespect black men? You see how we disrespect black men? It's so damn disrespectful out here. But that's how it is. See, but see, when the conversation about alimony comes up and a man is going to receive alimony, now it's all about gender roles. That's not the role of a man traditionally. See how women do it? They don't want they don't want to talk traditional gender roles when it comes to them, right? But when the paradigm shift and you talk about cutting a check for a man, all of a sudden, what kind of man are you to get a check from a woman? What the hell? Huh? You were straight from the Amazon. Now all of a sudden, you want traditional gender roles. Kamiki writes, y'all sound like white folks discussing affirmative action or something similar. Dale writes, see how women do you? See how these women? I told you, I strike the nerve. When you strike the nerve, the real comes out. Now Kamiki comparing us to Karens and Darrens. You know what I'm saying? This is what happens. This is what happens when you start to peel back the ashy and uncover the ashy need truth. Right? When you pull back them covers, like ha ha, and you like, oh, you have no lotion on, right? That's what happens. That's what happens. Let me see. How many times are women busters but still getting alimony? Cass writes, y'all men acting like this is reparations for y'all. LOL, who hurt y'all? See how they ridicule us? See how they want to ridicule us up? It ain't about being hurt. It's about fair is fair. That's all it's about. Michael Jordan's wife should have got paid. She should have got paid. She didn't bounce no balls, but she took care of those babies, and she helped to create an image of him as a family man, which made him a lot of money. All right? Same thing with Kendu and Mary J. She was his manager. He was the manager. He helped her make that money. They break up, no prenup. Give me my money. That's the way it goes. Joy writes, hold on. Joy writes, Mary should have had a cheating clause in her prenuptial. It's the fact that he cheated and she still has to pay him. Is that right? I'm not sure if that's confirmed or not. I'm not really sure about that. But I wanted to share with you nonetheless. 513-873-7134. If you want to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to hear them. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So we've talked about badge bending. You now know what that is. There's an allegation of badge bending against the Vallejo, that's in California Police Department. We are 3 years removed from a multiple officer involved shooting that left a 20-year-old black man dead. He was sitting in his car driveway of Taco Bell. Police roll up on him. He sleep. They say he had a gun in his lap. And when they started barking orders, I mean, I don't know about you, but sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm a little bit groggy. It takes me a little bit to just come to the world. Like I'm getting up slowly, right? Can you imagine you're being woke up abruptly and there's police officers with guns drawn and everybody's barking orders? That scared the hell out of you. You're disoriented. You don't really know. You're scared. You don't know what the hell's going on. You might do some things with your hands that you're not even really all that cognizant of, right? And he gets shot 53 times in 3 seconds. Nobody is charged with the man's death. Only one officer loses his job. And the officer lost his job because he was in such a hurry to shoot this man that he endangered other officers' lives. And because he broke protocol during a shooting, that's why he lost his job, not because of him killing his young boy. A few months after the shooting, a police captain on the Vallejo Police Department comes out with an allegation that the officers were participating in something called badge bending, which is nothing more than like trophies. You know what I'm saying? You know, you get a trophy for being in an officer involved shooting and or killing somebody. Now, that touched a nerve because there's elements of the Black community across the country that really believe that some police officers are what they call race soldiers. Like, they're police officers, but what they're really, really here to do is to reinforce white supremacy, to kill, to maim as much, to kill and maim and cause as much chaos as possible, right? That's what they're saying. I don't know if that's true or not. But when you read stories like this, it makes you feel like it is. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Merritt will take, wait. What's this? Rachel Rice. Good morning, family. Good morning to you. Janice Rice, he even had children who she helped care for when she married him. That's true. All that is true. But she still had to pay him child support. Alimony. And as a man, I've got no problem. I don't understand all these women. Who runs the world? Girls. Who runs the world's girls? Women, Black women power, Black magic, all this kind of stuff. Okay. Equality, smash the glass ceiling. A woman can do what a man can do. Okay, great. Well, a woman can do what a man can do. She was the breadwinner. They got divorced. She paid her money. Simple as that. But I think it's smart for her to continue to make music about it because it will resonate with women. It'll resonate with all women. But modern women in particular will love these kind of songs, like women that have worked really, really hard to create their careers and they pay their own bills and they work for their degrees and maybe they own their own business. Like that type of woman is going to love this, you know, because that kind of woman, for whatever reason, is very highly susceptible to this kind of stuff, right? He did me wrong and now I got to pay him. But so smart for Mary J. Smart on her part. I bet it'll be I don't know. I haven't heard the song, so the music is everything, but I'm sure it's going to be dope. And then she's fresh off of the Pepsi Super Bowl. What was it? 56-3, something like that. Halftime show. So that means that she's going to get a bump in her online album sales. Like, oh, I forgot about all the dopeness that Mary J created. Let me go listen to her music, right? That's going to happen. So that's going to make her more in demand. So yeah. And who wouldn't go see Mary J? I would go see Mary J. As much as I could stomach. And when she get to that, there's going to be a point in any Mary J concert where she goes to the whole like men or dogs part, right? You just got to sit through that. Cash writes, so are we legally allowed to own guns or not? They say we are, but then as soon as they see us with one or suspect we have one, they're allowed to shoot and kill us, whether we pose a threat or not. Make sense. It's the point I was trying to make. It's like, wait a minute, you're dealing with a country where in many states, boom, you can own a gun. Some states, open carry. As long as people can see it. And the man's sleeping. So what? But did what's up, Crutha? Did Nathan get his breakfast plate? My breakfast plate. I'm not sure what they mean by that. My breakfast plate. Not sure. Nakia writes, she could make up a song called Be Careful Sharing Your Bag. She could. Jack writes, they spend good money on hair and nails. Why not pay good money for a man? Is that right? Rachel writes, the breadwinner will always pay when a good prenup isn't in place. Exactly. All this damn belly aching. It is what it is. Pay that man. Pay that man. Good morning to you. Let me throw my number out to the ether again and see what happens. You can always take a free ride on my thoughts. But if you want to transform your brain waves into talk radio waves this morning, you can do so at 513-873-7134. Good morning to you. How many people are going down to Washington Park today? They're supposed to have a rally down there for the Bengals. I would imagine the coaches will show up. I think that's a great thing. You want to welcome them back home, do something for the hometown team, and then it's all about next year. It's all about moving forward. So we'll have to see what happens. But I'm just curious, how many people, anybody in the audience, planning on going down there? I think it's this afternoon, as a matter of fact. So we shall see. I am not planning on being there. They're getting rid of expensive hair and nails often. Okay, maybe so. Sister Iris writes, shaking my head. That damn shooting hurts my soul. Pay that man no dang attention. Lannis writes, good morning, Brother Nathan. Michael writes, no second place trophies. That's right. But you do get an AFC championship trophy. You do get an AFC championship trophy. So that'll have to be enough. That'll have to be enough. Some more news that may or may not be on your radar screen. And Black History Month, really every month, really. But we see these stories, man, from time to time that just don't make any sense whatsoever. And it makes you think, it makes you really question the mentality and the hearts of some people. This is one of those stories. Are you ready for it? A preschool has apologized to parents, parents who had children that were attending the preschool. So the preschool has apologized after toddlers at the preschool were forced to wear blackface masks. Now, we all know what blackface is. It's a Montessori school in Massachusetts. It's called I See Kids. I, the letter C, Kids. And again, it's a Montessori school based in Massachusetts. It's under fire after a teacher at the school instructed children to make and wear blackface masks as a part of a Black History Month project. Apparently, they did old school, right? The teacher had the children paint blackface masks on paper plates that they held over their faces. And apparently there were some images that got out on social media. I'm looking at it right now. Quote, my cousin sent me a picture of what her children's daycare in the town of Newton, Massachusetts. This is how they decided to celebrate Black History Month, by having the students make blackface masks at the schools. Yeah, nothing wrong with a little blackface. On Twitter, I'm looking at it right now. The school put out a statement. It reads, to all who were offended, we sincerely apologize for what happened with one of our children activities, blackface. Our intention was to celebrate Black History Month. Unfortunately, we didn't do enough research on Black history and carried out a wrong activity. We are sorry about it, and we mean it. These damn apologies, they always get it wrong. They always get it wrong. Would you like to see an image of it? Now, the image I'm going to show you is you're going to see more of the mask than anything else. Okay. Let me show this to you real quick. Yeah. And then we got to break this down and see how you really feel about it. But I want you to see this. Now, you're not going to be able to see the faces of the children because they've been scratched out. But you will see the black face masks that the children made. These are toddlers that they made while at daycare. My son used to go to daycare. He used to make stuff at daycare. Yeah, I'm going to show the image right now. Just give me a second here. I want to make sure I grabbed it. Okay, so here's the image. It's coming up here in a second. Here's the image right here that's in question. All right, check this out. There it is. So you can see some of the masks, and look, that's what kids do. They make look completely black face with the darndest. These kids don't know what they're doing. Toddlers, they have no idea that they are being subjected to, at the very least, microaggressions, right? At the very least, they are being subjected to something that they don't even really understand, at the very, very least. But here's what I want to know. Is there any scenario in which you believe that this is a valid activity for children to do during Black History Month? Maybe she was trying to teach them about the history of blackface and how negative it was, and then she wanted to teach them at a young age. Again, we don't know because it just got everything got shut down. But if I'm trying to like be optimistic, and y'all know I'm a very optimistic guy, perhaps this teacher was trying to teach the young people about the evils of blackface, right? About the distortions of Black and brown people and how blackface was used to dehumanize them. And when you're dealing with kids, one of the easiest things to do is have them do arts and crafts. Pull out the crayons, make a little something on the plate. Maybe that's what it was. Is this harmless in your opinion? And put the image back up here again. Is this like harmless and it was taken out of control? I mean, taken out of context and then things just got out of control? Or again, is what you see damning enough? Is the fact that you got these kids making blackface masks with no other explanation, is that damning enough in your opinion? How dare you make them make a blackface mask? Don't you know that blackface is wrong? I mean, I can definitely see if that's some people's reactions, but I'm being fair and objective. I don't know what the lesson plan was. Can I see a lesson plan? I don't know what her point was. Does it matter? Nadira Pierce, who is a Black mother of 2 children at the school, has pulled both of her kids out. She said that this was unacceptable and she pulled her kids out of the school immediately. Would you pull your children out of the school immediately if this happened where, at your child's daycare? Anthony is too funny. He said next week it'll be monkey masks. Yeah, it's going to be Joe Rogan Day, right? I made it funny. Yes, Planet of the Apes mask. I can certainly understand where you're coming from, but I'd like to know, is because of the nature of this, is this DOA? Is this idea DOA, or do we need to know more information about what the lesson plan was and what her intent was and what she was trying to teach them? Is there any scenario in which you might be like, oh, okay, that's what her point was. Okay, well, I can see it. I can see it. Would you feel comfortable sending your kids to a daycare if they did an activity such as this? What's the big deal? Okay, so what? They did blackface, okay? She's trying to teach about what's the big deal? We're talking about toddlers. They're not even going to remember this shit anyway in a couple of years. They don't know what they were actually doing. What's the harm? They're toddlers. For all they knew, they just made a mask. They don't know what that means. They're not going to remember that stuff. Right? The people just overreact. You tell me. 513-873-7134. Now, it's easy for me to sit back and pontificate and get all intellectual with it because my kids are not there. If I was closer to that, I fully admit that I'd be much more in my emotions, but I am not. So I can step back and I can kind of look at it and try to be objective with it, right? But you tell me. You tell me. 513-873-7134. And what about this apology? Like, people just don't do apologies well. Let me read it again, and then I'll kind of pick apart some of the things that stuck out to me. To all who were offended, we sincerely apologize for what happened with one of our classroom activities. Offended. To me, I wouldn't be I would be offended, but that's not the issue. The issue is, for me, if that was me, is I want to know whether I've got my children in a hostile environment. Like, are you on the low doing some white supremacist Karen and Darren type stuff with my kid? That would be my concern. My concern would be twofold. It would be that, And now that we've uncovered that, now I question all of your decision making. I don't know if I could trust you to even to give my kids lunch now. That's how I would think about it. You know what I'm saying? But I can have those kind of cascading thoughts like, oh, this leads to that and that leads to this. And especially with my children, shit. Excuse me, shoot. Shoot. To all who are offended, we sincerely apologize for what happened with one of our classroom activities, blackface. I mean, my country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. Somebody wrote, this is not an apology to all who were offended, is not having accountability for the school's actions. We are sorry about it and we mean it. You were better off not addressing it at all. That's what somebody wrote. And I agree. I mean, as apologies go, this is terrible. Unfortunately, we didn't do enough research on Black history. See, don't give me that you didn't do enough research about. We just poll ignorant peoples. We didn't know we couldn't use the N-word. You know, that's what it sounds like. Well, all these rappers are using the N-word. I mean, that's what's next. We didn't do enough research on Black history. I'm not really sure if that was the issue, the lack of research per se. It was some other things. But again, how would you feel if your child attended a school like this, or this happened at your child's daycare? Would you feel comfortable with your child going back? Would you pull them? Do we need to know more information before we form Voltron on this teacher in this particular establishment? Is there more information that we need to know about what her lesson plan was? Maybe she was trying to teach the kids about the evils of blackface. You ever thought about that? That's completely possible. It's complete. She could have been on some way, and again, I'm just trying to be fair here, but she could have been trying to teach them about the evils of blackface and how that was used as a caricature to demean Black people. If that's what she was trying to do, who would have a problem with that? But let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Hey, good morning.
What's up, Nate? This is Daryl from Atlanta. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what up, Daryl? I'm doing great, brother. Welcome to the show.
Hey, the Bengals couldn't pull it out, but I'll touch on that later. This situation, and I worked a long time ago. I worked in early childhood, so from what I can recall, I think the number one, or one that I would say, well, number one and number two, one of the first two priorities in early childhood education is socialization skills. And so, I mean, this blackface thing, honestly, sometimes there is no other side. And that's where I'm standing with this. Because as you stated earlier, I began to wonder why this activity, why this day, why this month, specifically this month. And to teach them about man, that ain't gonna register with those kids right now. No, I mean, come on. I mean, there's some smart kids, but they're not gonna take that and make it applicable, or, well, I'm teaching you the wrongs of blackface. I mean, you would be better off just having a simple lesson about Black history and talking about one person each day of the month. You see what I'm saying? So this is inexcusable. I don't give any room. They're gonna come up with they're gonna flip they're gonna try to spin it. They're gonna try to spin it and make it acceptable. This isn't acceptable. And it leads to what you said. If they feel comfortable, if this particular teacher feels comfortable teaching the kids this activity, then what does she really think about the Black kids in her class? What is she really it's almost like a implicit bias that she's conveying without being openly racist. I would say, or you know what I just think there's something underlying. I'm like, out of all the activities you could do, wait, did that happen this month or last month?
I believe it happened. Let me double check here, actually. Give me
I
one
mean,
second here. I'm
this is
looking at the original story.
okay.
It happened this month because it was
Okay,
intended to celebrate Black History Month, and the teacher has been since fired.
and she should have been fired. I mean, like I said before, when kids of that age, and you know, you had a son not too far removed from that situation. There are so many other things you could do to convey a theme of Black history. Like I said, you could just talk about somebody. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Read a story, talk about them, and develop an activity around that doesn't show that implicit bias. And what state did this happen in?
You double check again.
Nowadays, I look
It happened
geographically.
in near Boston, so Massachusetts.
Okay, so I mean, I'm gonna say this, and it may not be fair, but the history of Boston and racism is, you know, it's well documented. So I'm not giving a pass. Now, I'm at no tolerance zone, no pass, no, not even if it was upper grade, no pass on anything like that. Nothing, no,
What if
because I felt
Daryl?
okay. Go ahead.
Is there any part? What if this was well intentioned but badly delivered? You know, like maybe she had great intentions in teaching the young people about the evils of blackface, but the way that it all was executed just didn't sit well. Is that possible at all? Or do you feel like she was trying to be funny on the low with some young kids?
Man, I don't even think she's trying to be. I don't know her heart, so I'll say that because anything I say after that is speculation. But what I have seen with burning of books and things like this all across the country, there's a spirit of indignation when it comes to us and our history. So the very least I could say is if you wanted to do an activity like that and you're a preschool teacher, I'm almost sure you know somebody that's Black, or look up something online. What's a positive Black history activity for preschoolers? That's easy to type in, just as I said it. So no, no, I'm not getting no, nada, no,
Okay.
no tolerant, no.
All right.
Oh, back to my Bengals thing real quick. Um, I'm for supporting the team. They did well. It's a good reflection on Cincinnati. But I will remind you, this is the Bengals. This is the Brown family. And the last time they went to the Super Bowl, we gave a parade for second place and did not hold them, because it's going to sound like I'm being harsh, but my history tells me, and look at the history of the Bengals, tells me these mofos going to be complacent and they ain't going to try to get better. And I'm like, no, if you made it this far, it's time to build on top of what you just did so you can get that championship. Anything less than that, if you're not trying, then you're just milking the city again, and you're going to be waiting another 33 years, and I'll be 88 by that time. So, nah, I ain't giving them no slack, and it's like a participation trophy. So, peace out, bro.
All right, thanks for the call. Daryl he ain't playing no games today. I hope not about the Bengals. I really do. Man, God, such a tough loss because you're 3 points away. They were up by 3 points with 2 minutes left. You know, I have tried really hard not to do this because this is generally my spirit. Like, generally, my spirit is I don't dwell on the negative, and I generally just try to learn and move on, right? And that's what I'm trying to do with the Bengals. What I'm trying to do with the Bengals is to not get caught up with blaming the refs, which is very easy to do because there was some questionable calls down there on that last drive. They played the entire game basically with no calls, and then now you got three, four calls, all critical in the last drive. I'm trying not to go there because, just the spirit of competition. I'm a big believer in, be a good loser and be a good winner, right? And the Bengals didn't win, and calls go back and forth like that call. There could have been a face mask call on that first Bengal touchdown with T. Higgins. They didn't call it. So that's how I kind of look at it. You hate it when a call you feel like cost you a game, but that's part of the game. So I believe from what we've seen, this would be one of the biggest stories in sports. If the Bengals don't continue by getting free agents and spending that money, if they do that and they keep this core together, they can be just as competitive as anybody else. And that's all you can ask for. You can't ask for a win. You don't get no wins in the NFL. Those are big time athletes, man. They all trying to win. You got some of the best athletes in the world sprinkled on all those different teams. They all trying to win. They all the best of the best. And I think if you're a Bengal fan, I think the best you can hope for is for the Bengals to remain competitive. I think that's the best you can hope for. Don't be looking for no AFC championships. If it happens, it happens. You just want the Bengals to be competitive in what is now a really tight and packed AFC, right? KC's coming back. Bills, Chargers, Browns, Steelers. You got all these Ravens, Bengals. And that's just where you want to be, right? The Bengals, if you want to be even keeled about it, not too high, not too low, you just want the Bengals to remain competitive so that the door can at least be opened season to season for them to get to the playoffs. Really, what you want the Bengals to do next year, I would have to say, is you want them to try to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Like playoffs now, every single year is what you want. What we're trying to do is what Mike Tomlin does. If we don't go to the playoffs every single year, we do not want a losing season. We don't want no losing record, no seasons moving forward. That's the best you can ask for. That's the best you can ask for because the Bengals may never get back to the Super Bowl. You know how hard that is? They made it look easy. That shit is super hard. Super hard. And there's so many other factors that are happening that are out of your control, like injuries and things like that. So, again, I don't want to get sour grapes about this. I want to enjoy what just happened with the Bengals, even though it did not end the way I wanted it to. I still want to enjoy the process. So that's just my general thoughts on the Bengals. And my man Daryl is hard on sis. He said, "Look, I ain't got no sympathy for her. She should have been fired." I'm trying to find the middle ground here because I'm thinking like this teacher had to have either been. It's only a couple things that could be true. Either the teacher was on some subtle white supremacy type stuff and was trying to be funny and abuse that situation because that's an option, or the teacher was ignorant, like literally ignorant and culturally insensitive, or the teacher had a point, but because the adults are so racially polarized, that the adults start projecting the wrong things into it. It's got to be either a mixture of those or one of those. That's just my thoughts on it. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Morning, Nathan. It's Kev on the cell.
What up, Kev? Good morning to you.
Thank you, sir. I'm about to make everybody mad at me. I already know it. It's okay, though.
Okay. Why?
I'll get over it.
Why?
I'm just going to be Kev. It's all right. So I've got 18 years of school, right? I don't remember not one time being taught about blackface. I went through junior high school, elementary school. I keep going through my mind. I went through high school, college, and a master's program. I was in an African American studies program in school. I took some African American studies classes and actually went and met Stokely Carmichael and a whole bunch of other stuff. And in school, I do not remember not one time being taught about blackface. I'm dead serious. I just keep. It's a long period of time, but I don't remember having been taught that. I do remember seeing blackface in the media. I remember seeing it when what's the guy's name? It was with Whoopi.
Ted
Cheers,
Danson.
that dude.
Ted Danson.
Yeah, I remember Ted Danson wearing it and everybody going off about it. I remember the issue that was a few years ago. I want to make sure that everybody understands that Ted Danson, that thing that happened with him, was years ago. So if you're a millennial, how did you see Ted Danson? Ted Danson is old. I don't know if you've seen him lately. He's a really old dude. You know what I'm saying? So like,
He used to date
I
Whoopi.
remember seeing he used to date Whoopi. You know what I mean? And he still wore blackface. Figure that out. And she said
right
it was
there
okay.
next to him. Matter of fact, she was right there next to him. Hold on, I'm about to bring the image up right now.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know, I think there's this assumption that, you know, these things are mainstream because they happen in the media, but that doesn't mean it was taught to her. How you gonna hold somebody accountable for something she ain't know nothing about? That don't even make sense. I could be mad at you that you did it if you did it and you knew about it, right? But I'm not mad at you if you said, oh, you know, we want one half of the class. I'm sorry, I'm making this up. I know I'm making this up. And I'm not even making excuses for blackface. So I want to make sure I say that. If you know anything about blackface at all, it's past culturally insensitive to put somebody in to be in blackface or put somebody else in blackface. 100% it is. But if you don't know, how you gonna hold them to a standard that they don't know nothing about? I don't know that my daughter. Well, I do know that my daughter knows about blackface, but I don't know that you know, 9 out of 10 kids coming out of school right now know about. I don't know that because I know it ain't taught. That's not in anybody's curriculum. They don't come in and say, oh, you know, there was a period of time in America where these people put on white people put on blackface and pretended to be black to act, you know, to basically take jobs and livelihoods from Africans throughout the diaspora. They don't do that. They don't do that. So, you know, that assumption that this is some nefarious thing, I think that's the problem, Nate. You know what I mean? That's part of the problem. We have this assumption that people are paying attention. And the problem is they're not. They're not. Half the stuff that Donald Trump has told these people is okay, and all these other people. I said I was never going to say DJ T's name again. My bad. I apologize to the entire audience for that. I ain't never saying his name. But half the people out here that are you know, with all of these ideas that are, when you listen to them, you're like, you know, you sound like a racist, right? They don't even know that they sound like a racist. You talk to them, you're like, man, are you crazy? You talking about taking affirmative action out of the schools? How are my people supposed to get jobs? The people sitting right across the table from them that's giving out the jobs don't look like them. Why are they going to give the job to me instead of giving it to the person that looks like them and listens to, you know, the hard rock music? So I don't know, man. You know, so I think that's a possibility. The teacher, how old is the teacher? Do we know how old she is?
I do not know.
Don't know.
You
So
say it
let's
could be
say
a straight up case of her. She's just ignorant, like in a lack of knowledge and awareness type of thing, and maybe that shouldn't be used against her. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. And what I'm really saying is, number one, we need to make it. And so, you know, it's with me, it's always accountability. You know me, I'm all about. If the gap is there, how do we fill the gap, right? We need to make sure that these things are in the curriculum. You know what I'm saying? Because if you say to me that every teacher across the country learns about African American history, not whatever their core classes, because when you go to college, you just learn whatever your core classes are. That's what you learn. There's no I don't know that there within the curriculum to become an educator, there's something that says all kindergarten teachers have to learn about blackface. That's not a thing. I know that wasn't a thing for me. That wasn't part of my core education. And I'm talking about gen eds. I ask you, you went to college. Do you remember being taught about blackface in college? In high school?
I don't remember where I learned about it, but no, I don't believe, I can't recall, but I have to say no. To answer your question and give you an answer right now, no.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm not even being a jerk. So, everybody gets butthurt about things. Now, what we need to do is be like, hey, if everybody doesn't know about it, that's something everybody should know. Because, you get punched in the face. It ain't a lie. Somebody will punch you in the face. That's not something that you want people to go out there and do. You go, paint your face with shoe polish and go somewhere, you might get punched in the face. It's not a good idea. So I think more of what we need to do, and when I say we, it's always about the African community throughout the diaspora, right? Is start making sure that we are literally on the agenda, man. A lot of these things are just placating. We there's an African American History Month at most schools just because there has to be one. They don't even know what the programming is going to be. They don't even know what they're going to be teaching the kids at that time of the month, at that time of the year. You know what I'm saying? So it's up to us. It's incumbent on us to actually be out there saying, these are the things that are not okay. These are the things that we won't stand for. You know what I'm saying? You cannot just keep saying that we hang out on corners. There ain't that many black people on the corners. I'm just telling you the truth. Most of the people I know are just like you and me and 90% of the audience that are Africans throughout the diaspora. They go to work every day. They work hard. They take care of their families. They love their families, and they want to do well. That's most of the people I know. Now, there are some outliers out there, and they bad. They just, what your boys say, all black folks ain't black folks. And I don't truck with the N words. You know what I'm saying? So that's, I know I'm playing God's advocate. I ain't never the devil's nothing. But look, man, this it might be how horrible is it? What a travesty that this person may have lost their job, and she might be sitting there right now like, I don't even know why I got fired. She's sitting somewhere right now with a cocktail and a friend crying like, I don't even know why I got fired. I was putting on a play and I wanted one half of the classroom to be white and one half to be black. So I told them to paint a plate. Hey man, be blessed, man. Who they all day, but this stuff about I don't even have a problem with the parade or whatever it is for the team losing or whatever, but this apathetic attitude, bro, for coming in second, nah, I ain't for it, bro. I ain't for it. I'm like, are you celebrate the team? We love y'all. We love y'all. You love y'all. Y'all shouldn't have lost. That's what really should be. We about being winners, man. What's our mantra? Come on, bro. Come on. Anyway, I'm gonna continue to root for him though, because I just know who I am.
All right, brother.
My
Take
love
it
to
easy.
all the choppers, man. Y'all be blessed.
Yep, most definitely. That's Kev on a sale. Great call, as always. Let me take a quick break. About 4 minutes. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue the conversation. And there's some information about the new police chief. It's coming in right now. Breaking news. We'll get to that in just a second. It's the Nathan Ivey Show. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, babe, look what hole I am in. I am in. I try not to think too much about what might have been, might have been. How nice if I just could let you in, let you in. I know you could be my remedy, remedy. How long will you keep dry? I know it's not, babe, it's not easy. I guess deep down inside, I knew you could be my could tear it apart. And if I tell you how I feel, would you be good to me? Good to me. How nice if I just could let you in. I know you could be my remedy. How long will you keep trying? I know it's not, babe. It's not easy. I guess deep down inside, I know you could be my remedy.
All right, good morning to you. Welcome back. 513-873-7134. And as I said, this is breaking news just coming in. The city of Cincinnati has announced or named the interim Cincinnati police chief. And people are saying that it's Lieutenant Colonel Teresa, is it Theet G? Not sure how you pronounce her last name. Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Theetge has been selected for the job. She is a white female. So that means that she'll be in a position in the wake of his retirement, which happens, it happens on March 1st. So what is it, 2 weeks away? And she will be the first woman to lead the department. She currently holds the position of executive assistant police chief, which means that in the event that something happens to Chief Elliot Isaac, she have to step in and lead the department. So it sounds like she's right there. And we could have does that mean that she is at the front of the line in terms of being selected to be the new chief? I mean, I have to say so. Yeah, if she wants the job. Quite interesting. So we have a white female that's leading the Hamilton County Sheriffs, and we'll now have a white female that's leading the Cincinnati Police Department. Interesting. What do you think? 513-873-7134. I don't know Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Theetgate. If I'm pronouncing her name wrong, please set me straight. I don't know. There might be people out there that have a better handle on who she is or some experience with her. Of course, I'll be asking around, you know that, to try to see what people that I know who may know her think about her. But that's what it's going to be. White females, law enforcement, yeah, women. I'm not against it. I'm not against it at all. But what do you think? What do you think? Is there an image of her? There is. Let me see if I can. This is going to be a screenshot from my friends over the Cincinnati Enquirer. Shout out to Kevin Aldrich. He's a big Bengal fan. He was crushed. I talked to him. He was crushed. That's her. That's Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Thietegate. And she is currently the executive assistant police chief and oversees the department's administration bureau. So what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next is they're going to do a nationwide search and determine who the best person is. But my thing is where we are right now, because where we are right now is not where we used to be. That was the image from Straight Talk. Yeah. That was a cover from Straight Talk. She had a very interesting conversation talking about, if you missed it, you should definitely check it out. She had a professor on, Dr. John, forget his last name. And they talked about, and he really broke it down, almost like in a master class style, the history of what she actually said and where she was right and where she was wrong. If you're into that kind of stuff, it was fascinating. You should check it out. It's up on our page right now here on Facebook. And Edna has a page as well, Straight Talk Live with Edna Howe. And I would encourage you to check her out. And check out everybody, man. Make sure you're checking out Edna Howe's page. Check out the lovely ladies of Melanin Insights podcast. They have a page up as well. You can connect with Britt and Cass. Christian Boykin has a page. Donnie has a Facebook group. Is It Just Me Facebook group if you want to connect with her. Ask Ashley has a page and a website. You can check her out. Also on YouTube as well. Check them out. The good folks at Cincinnati NAACP will be streaming today at 1 p.m. So check them out on their Facebook page. You can always watch it live and interact. Always doing good work by the people. So a lot of stuff going on and a few other shows in development right now, which there's nothing to talk about. So still working on a few ideas. You know me. I'm all about that creative lifestyle. That's right, Sister Iris. Yep. Interim Police Chief Teresa Thietegate. And I thought about you, and I was curious as to what you thought about, and if you had any interactions with the Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Thietegate or Thietegate. I keep saying it's gate because my mind wants to make sense out of it. But Thietegate, is that what it is? Okay, we're getting a call right now. It's from Sister Iris. Let's welcome her on. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, dear brother. Good morning. I wanted to just briefly check in with you and the chopper so that you know the interim Cincinnati Police Chief has been named, and it is Teresa Thietegate. She is the Executive Lieutenant Colonel, meaning she is the highest ranking assistant chief on the force. She's been with the force over 30-something years. She is the first woman to hold this role as interim. There will be a national search for police chief for the city of Cincinnati, if anyone is interested in that. Those are our top 3 goals for the list of priorities that we sent to the Bureau of Law Administration once elected. What we believed was the first things that he needed to work on the first 100 to 180 days. But be sure, it's very critical that whatever vendor they use is culturally competent, familiar with reforms and efforts in community engagement, and things that we deem appropriate and plausible to see in our next police chief. So I just wanted to make sure that you got that announcement. And also just wanted to say, I think this is a courageous move with this administration, although it was being pushed by the previous administration city manager, Paula Boggs-Muthang. She stayed on me about taking that particular role as the collaborative agreement sustainability manager. I could not bring myself to become an employee of the city for multiple reasons. The highest one was my voice. I've been very honored and privileged because of Rose Show and Jesse Rowley to speak our truth, my truth, the real truth, our critical truth as we know it to be over these last 20 years. And I just did not want to give that up. So I decided to do this for a short while to see how it goes, to move the process forward, to make sure that y'all's voice, my voice, our voice is heard as it relates to police practices, policies, procedures, and definitely to ensure that our voice and our participation is at the greatest extent feasible in all of these searches, whether it's the chief, police chief, the city manager, lateral officers, new recruit classes, all those things that matter to us. So I thank y'all for the love and just the just the vote of confidence to get this work done. I really do. I really do. Thank you, dear brother Nathan, for hearing me on and off the air, my concerns, and allowing us to bring them to you, just as often as possible, because policing is an everyday occupation. It shouldn't be such a prevalent thing in our lives. Shouldn't be the most thing that we think about all day and all night long. That is traumatizing in itself, but it should be something that we participate in as taxpayers. It is called a return on your investment, and we have to ensure that we get the return that we want for our tax dollar. So I just wanted to thank you and give you an update on who your next interim police chief is.
So real quick, Iris, do you have any interactions? Have you had any interactions with the new interim police chief? If so, what's your impression of her?
I've worked with BG over the last 20 years. She's been on the force. She's been a part of the work of the collaborative agreement. She's a reserve type of individual, not very loud, very quiet. She comes from a family of law enforcers. Her brothers are the Nevilles. One of her brothers retired maybe a couple of years ago. Another Neville brother is chief of security for the Cincinnati Reds, and I think there's one more that could still be on the force. I'm not for sure, but comes from a history, and I believe her father was in law enforcement, so it's a history of law enforcement in their family. She's been around. We've had our disagreements, we've had our agreements, we've been able to work together. When we first hit the scene and changing the police department, everybody hated us. Everybody hated the Cincinnati Black United Front, no matter what it was. And it took time for them to understand that y'all don't run everything. Again, we're taxpayers and we have a say in how this thing goes. And I think over the years that she has accepted that. And listening to her this morning, one of the things that she said is that she's going to continue to work on the values and principles and goals of the collaborative agreement. And so I look forward to working with her. She participated just recently, Nathan, in our small groups that we did for, those 6 months in last July, when then Mayor Cranley said he wanted the MAG to take a look at youth violence. She was one of the people that joined myself and Raquel Howard-Smith, Assistant City Manager Cheryl Long, Virginia Talent, Paul Booth, Assistant Chief Davis, on looking at the data, talking to frontline people, all those things. So she has participated. She's, like I said, she's not a loud person. She's very unassuming, very quiet, sit back and watch. But has been participatory in the process of the agreement, which is extremely important to me. So I'm interested in seeing how she performs as interim, first female. Policing is a white man's job, historically has been and currently still is across the nation. So it's going to be interesting to see how they receive her as the interim and what type of support she gets from the captains, lieutenants, sergeants, and then the rank and file. And as we move into this national search, I do know that she is putting her name in the hat. She has made that very clear. So has Assistant Chief Davis, and I do believe Assistant Police Chief Johns is going to put his name in the hat as well. So I look forward to that process, matching them up to what's out there nationally. I know we all look gun shy about bringing in new people. We have a new mayor, new city manager, new council for all intents and purposes. And for me, what's problematic for that is that I do constant onboarding all over again, all the time. So, and figuring out how to institutionalize these things. so that the importance and the spirit of what Black people want out of police, being able to get at the policies that don't enable for discriminatory practices to go on, to make sure that we remove those things, to work consistently on that is something that I will be looking for. And based off of what the community's perception survey and what they wanted to see from their chief, that's something that the community wants also. So this will be interesting to see how all of these things play into one another. So it's going to be interesting, Nathan, and I certainly will be here to keep you and the choppers educated front and center, asking for your participation, making sure that you know what's coming up next. I do believe that the interim city manager, although he's not conducting the search for the city manager, I believe the assistant city manager, Wong, is doing that. But I think that will happen before you get a chief. And it's critical that we have a city manager that understands this part of that job. And that is what we do here as it relates to policing and how it's done, the importance of a consistency, looking at the data, making sure community is engaged and involved, and then just, down on to being a good city manager, whether they are professional or certified or not, whomever that process gleans as the best person possible for the job. But my goal is to make sure that we are engaged in all of it. And that is simply by lifting your voice. You all know that I listen here daily to hear what you have to say, to get your thoughts and feedback, especially on as it relates to police, how you feel about what's going on, so that can be represented on a daily basis. And of course, we do Woke Wednesdays and Freedom Fridays, of which you've been so gracious to me, to the leaders, to allow us to announce those conversations that we're having. We are having those because we believe that that's critical to our efficacy of what is happening. Again, this is because of your tax dollar. So this will be interesting to see how it all goes down, Mr. Ivey. So you need to have her on here. You and the choppers need to talk to her about being interim. I do know also, Nathan, that as it relates to if something happens, something big happens while she is interim, that the city manager, she will not be making those high-level decisions alone. I particularly, if you're asking me about the process, I wanted it to be a rotating process of the assistant chiefs so that everyone got a fair shot at it and no one got a leg up on one of the other. We did it before when Stryker left, and there was a lull between getting the first chief from outside of the city of Cincinnati, Hamilton County, state of Ohio. It took us some time. Our then city manager, Milton Dahoney, did a rotating, put all 4 police chiefs in a rotating process where you would be the interim police chief for a month. I do know when we did that, there was a police killing of Bones in Northside. But I thought also that it didn't give one the opportunity to make moves or put people in the position. And I'm not saying that that's what she's going to do. I just want to remove any opportunity of anyone having a leg up on anyone else and everybody being able to come to this position in a fair and equitable way. So we'll see how things go, dear brother. We definitely will see. We've been down this path before. But again, it's on us to stay vigilant and true. And if you hear my voice and I got something to say about that, please listen. Hold me accountable as well. And make sure that I'm bringing you all back what you need to hear and understand as it relates to policing in your city and how it's getting done. Right. Anything else I can do for you, dear brother?
That's it. Thanks for the call. I appreciate
you. You are so welcome, and thank you. I wanted to. I was trying my best not to tell the choppers before the announcement was made. So y'all just gotta give me some grace on those things. Y'all know y'all first and foremost as it relates to any decision that's happening. But some things I have to allow the city to make the announcement, and they want to make the announcement on the interim city manager this morning first before we announced it to community. So you have it right after they announced it. You guys got it.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, dear brother. Have a powerful day.
You too. So, Sister Iris, very interesting. Man, my time is running out. We'll pick up this conversation tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. All right. Please take a second to like and in particular share today's show. I think people will get into the conversation. We talk about people, politics, and pleasure. And from time to time, we may have a unique perspective to talk about the issues that, everybody's talking about. Plus, I'm based in the city of Cincinnati, so I talk a lot about what's happening in the city from a Cincinnati perspective. And as you can see, I do have melanin as well. So that is a part of the conversation. That's a part of the show equation as well. So have an excellent rest of your Wednesday. I'll be back and hopefully better than ever. Don't forget 1 p.m. today, Truth to Power podcast, Cincinnati NAACP. They'll be live streaming today. You can check them out on Facebook. And if you're already following them, you should get a notification. We'll also simulcast it on CDM's page as well. So if you're following here, you get a notification. And just tap in and hit them with a play and a share and support what they're doing. Again, have an excellent rest of your day, family. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. We'll chop it up. Remember, winners focus on winning and losers focus on winners. So stay focused and stay winning. And we'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm Nate Ivey, and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what